what? Receding? Yeah, receding. Yes, absolutely.
It's back here. Mine back here.
Yeah.
Mine back here. It's called A.
That's crazy.
Yeah, mine right here.
That's crazy. I didn't even put.
Hey man, I would tell. Hey man, jokes make people laugh. Hey Kieran, man, no funny business, man, but you're looking good, bro. Looking good. Looking good.
Yeah, Karen.
That is not the direction I saw you going in, but okay.
Yeah,
that's great. But hey, man, let's get straight to it, man. Welcome to the Throwdown, man, episode 129. I'm your host, Ben Brandon from the Black River. Want to call me, man? Here's another episode. Yo, we're talking about 2 sports tonight. Football. Got some news there. Then we got some basketball, man. Play-in time, playoff season. So we'll get straight to that. Karen, what's up, man? How you been?
I'm doing good. Just trying to get through this last semester, but that's really it.
All right, bet. Champ, what's up, bro? How you been?
Hey, you already know what it is, man. Hey, I gotta say it. 85 degrees in the state of Georgia today, man. Well, lovely was it down here today, man.
Damn,
I'm not gonna lie. It's 70.
Yeah, it's in the 80s here too.
It's like 76 here, but
you can't flex anymore.
Hey,
no, I won't be able to fix this summer. This summer, I know it's finna get ugly.
Yeah. It's 102 degrees in Columbus, Georgia. Yeah, okay. It's like 96 up here.
Yo, bro, what's up, bro?
Man, nothing much. But I think before we go, we all heard the sad news yesterday. Moment of silence for Tristan, man.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
21 years old, man.
Crazy. Yeah, that is sad, man. And RP to the late great OJ Simpson as well.
Tristan, we will all miss you dearly. Rest easy, brother.
Yeah, for sure. Hey man, but let's get straight into it, man. I haven't really talked about this on the show, but Stefon Diggs is a Houston Texan, man. I just want to hear what y'all thoughts about that. To me, I just think maybe in the AFC Championship.
But let's chill out with that. Let's wait to play. But at first it looked like the Texans fleeced the Bills, but then they broke down his contract where they got rid of his extra $3 million or the last 3 years of his contract. So now he's a free agent and can walk at the end of the season. So it's like, what the hell did you trade him for?
Mm-hmm.
It's so confusing.
Yeah, it is.
Well, I believe they did that because it's just because they just put this whole contract into 1 year. It's just like, okay, that way if you come in and you act a fool, or if you come in and you don't do as well as we think you can do, we don't have to pay you next year. You can just take your behind on somewhere else to pick and complain somewhere else. Because he has regardless of what people may think, he has a history. He's a hell of a receiver. I will give him that. But he has one hell of a history of being a malcontent. And if you really want to be honest with you, hey, last time somebody traded him and, he went to another team, they literally upgraded. The thing is, the Vikings got rid of him and got Justin Jefferson. They upgraded. So what's going to happen?
They're not in the best situation with him either. And also, the thing is, they also got a first-round pick, Minnesota, for him.
Well,
you traded him for literally nothing.
I think the problem is I think the Texans know that Stefon Diggs has regressed almost every year since probably 2020, I would say. And they don't know if it's going to go down or they're going to go up. So I think it was a smart move that they only gave up a second-round pick at the minimum for Stefon Diggs. Yeah. And also, my thing about the Texans is that they didn't really need receivers. They need more interior offensive linemen, in my opinion, and they need a better run game. Because I'm sorry, Devin Singletary's not cutting it, and I don't think Joe Mixon is going to cut it either. I don't think it's a bad move I don't think it's a bad move, but I don't think Stefon Diggs is the needle mover that they needed.
Needle move. Okay. So y'all, I just want to just curious because I know Luis ain't here, because you know how he is about Stefon Diggs. Karen, what's your you think Diggs top 5, bro?
I think he's like 6 or 7.
Oh wow.
It's tough. I'm not gonna say
that. Oh wow, sorry, Kieran. I didn't mean to cut you off. I only say that because Kieran he likes to troll a lot and always say that Stefon Diggs is in top 20. He's always so that's his actual ranking. So I'm like, oh, okay.
Like my thing about Diggs is that I didn't like what I saw last year. I know they changed up their scheme like halfway through the year, but like when I look at Stefon Diggs, he's obviously a great route runner. He's not the craziest. Yeah, he's not the craziest athlete or craziest guy, in my opinion. I don't think he's that great of a playmaker as the guys I have like in front of him. So, but if you want to have him at like 5, I'm not gonna be mad about it. But I can't see him over Justin Jefferson. Can't see him over Tyreek Hill. I can't see him over Jamar Chase, and I can't see him over AJ Brown.
Would you put?
Oh, you got AJ Brown over Diggs?
I'm high on AJ Brown. I hate the AJ Brown disrespect. So,
would you take Stefon Diggs over Amon-Ra St. Brown? I gotta ask that question.
Yes.
Yes, clearly.
Yes. I'm not crazy.
Well, here's a main guy that you didn't talk about, Tay Adams.
Yeah, Tay had a weird year last year. I think it's like a combination of like quarterback play and him regressing as well. I haven't met 6. I don't know.
I don't think Tay regressed though.
I don't know. Like his first step is not as quick as it used to be, in my opinion. Like I don't think he's at like crazy. Like he was never crazy athletic, but like I think he's more relying on like fades more and more. So that's just my. But I think Tay is still awesome, but I'm not gonna go overboard. But like I will say this: if Stefon Diggs plays like that he did, like the second half of the season last year, he's gonna be plummeting down. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah,
I think he's gonna do a lot better because they're not keying in on him at this certain point. And not to mention, he's not going to be the focal point of the receiving corps. They already have Tank Dell. They already have Nico Collins. They already have Dalton Schultz and, a plethora of other receivers that are out there at this point. So he's not going to be the focal point. They're not bringing him in like the Buffalo Bills did in order for him to be the focal point. So that's going to be a good thing. The only thing that I have concerns about is this. What's going to happen? This is a hot take before this comes out of my mouth. Make sure you get that part right. This is a hot take for me. What's going to happen, hypothetically speaking, if the Texans start the season 8-0 and let's say Stefon Diggs only have 200 receiving yards, but the team is winning? Are you going to be happy as a player because you're winning and you have a chance to go to the Super Bowl at this point? Or are you going to be screaming and kicking because you're not getting the ball? That's my thing about what's going to happen with Stefon Diggs. That's my concern. Because if you go out there and they get off to a great start and you are more of a decoy at this point than you are a number one receiver, what's going to happen when your team is winning, yet you're not getting the ball? So that's just my main concern with it. So
because they start 8-0 and like Stefon Diggs is not getting the ball, that might be just like showing that like defenses are respecting them and Nico Collins or Tank Dell are going off. So
yeah, I mean,
but 200 yards in 8 games is crazy. Like
I don't know exactly. Well, we won't know their schedule for like another month, but I mean, do I think that they'd start 8-0? Probably not, but
yeah, probably not. But like I said, that's a huge hot take. That's like I'm about to say a hot take and hypothetically speaking. I don't really see that happening. But you have to ask yourself that question. Even if they are 6-2 in the midpoint of the season, and he's not getting the ball like that, but yet they're a dangerous offense, you got to ask yourself: is he going to be happy in that role because they're winning, or is he going to be screaming and kicking? So that's a good question to ask because, hey, there's been previous years of Buffalo. Last year they was winning, yet he was screaming and kicking. So, hey, you gotta ask him. What has to ask themselves that question?
I think the only problem is that like the defense for the Texans, like they got Danielle Hunter as well, but like Danielle Hunter, I think this is the first time he played 17 games, and who knows how long. Like, I don't like to be that guy, but like I'm not expecting him to play 17 games because he's older and he's injury prone. They lost Blake Catchman, who was really good last year. Their defense still has question marks, even though they added pieces as well. So I'm not gonna bank on them to be like the best team in the AFC, but
I bet. Yeah, what's up, Grant?
What's going on? How y'all guys doing this evening?
Doing good. We're talking about right now Stefon Diggs to the Texans. What's your thoughts about that, Grant?
I mean, it's a bombshell move. I kind of know this was probably what Houston was trying to do and give CJ Stroud a great offense. He already has an amazing offense in itself, but adding Stefon is just like, the cherry on top of the cake. Because looking at this offense now from top to bottom, I said this on PSP show, Champ can vouch for me. I don't see a reason why this team should not have a chance to win the Super Bowl. Because if you have all those pieces on that offense and the way they were playing last season, because keep in mind, when CJ Stroud had probably one of the best rookie seasons we've seen in forever, he had Tank Dell, who was cooking. He gets hurt, but then he has Nico Collins as well. Now imagine having both of them together, and then you also now have to add in Dalton Schultz, and then you're adding in Stefon Diggs to that weapons. Like, it just adds more firepower to Houston. I think they're winning the South. There's no doubt in my mind they're winning the South. As much as I want to say Indianapolis might have a chance because of AR-15, but I just feel like Houston right now, if I'm looking at it from a weapon standpoint, I think they probably have the best chance to win. Because and at the end of the day, I kind of feel like this is what Houston needed. Now that you see what CJ Stroud can do, he's either going to have one of the greatest runs that I've seen out of a second-year quarterback, or he's going to have the biggest sophomore slump. I don't think there's any room in between that you can make for that. Because if he doesn't perform to the level, I just feel like it's going to be another wasted moment. And the last thing I'll say is this with Stefon Diggs. This is his last shot to get that ring, because you were in a situation 2 times in a row, and these 2 times that you've been in that situation, it hasn't worked out. Now, I know with Buffalo, your relationship with Josh Allen faltered. I can't really make any justifications for that because I don't know the situation. But I think this is just more for me. Stefon's got to go and make it work now. Because if he doesn't make it work here, Stefon isn't going to have a lot more time left in the league. And I don't know if there's going to be a team that's going to want to pick him up after this. Yeah. So I think he has to get the job done here. Because if you don't, like I said, you don't get the job done here, I think that closes the door for his Super Bowl hope. But that's it.
No, I just looked at the Texans' schedule for next season. Obviously,
what it looking like, bro?
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it's not the easiest schedule.
Yeah, their first 2 games were really, really tough.
So minus their 3 division games at home, the teams that they play at home, again, minus 3 division opponents: Baltimore, Buffalo, Miami, Chicago, Detroit. On the road,
God damn,
Dallas, Green Bay, Minnesota, Kansas City, the Jets, and the Patriots.
But that's not easy.
That's definitely not easy.
Because the Vikings got better. They got a lot better.
Well, they need to go back, but yeah.
Even though the Jets are kind of they're the Jets, they got better.
I mean, if Aaron Rodgers stays healthy.
I mean, if Aaron Rodgers plays at a top 12 level, they're going to be a good team.
I mean, with both Baltimore and Kansas City on their schedule, I mean, they can compete for the 1 seed, but is there a chance that they drop both of those games? I'm
probably
going towards yes.
And and even though Buffalo did lose Stefon Diggs, Josh Allen can be that. I think Josh Allen could be that carry job quarterback.
All right. Hey, PSP, man, this is a nasty question. He said Mr. Trubisky, Destin Ritter, Zach Wilson, start bench cut. Shout out to Champion Columbus, Georgia. What?
So we just wanted the team to suck then? What the heck is? Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah, that's nasty word.
Is Tank an option?
All right, I'm cutting Mitch Trubisky because he's literally
an option. That's what I want to know. Is Tank an option?
Can I?
Take's crazy.
Okay.
Hey, can't none of them pass
start-
gas. Can't none of them pass gas if you fed them
Yes.
beans all night. So it really don't matter who you pick.
This country is.
All right.
It's the old person saying. We're used to
This is
it.
actually easier, in my opinion, than like I'm cutting Mr. Trubisky because he should not be in the NFL. I'm starting Zach Wilson because even though like he sucks, like he probably has the highest ceiling because of his arm, and then I'll bench Desmond Ritter.
I mean, out of that group, I'm starting Zach Wilson, I guess, because he's shown the most potential out of the three, even though it hasn't been much. And I guess I gotta agree with Kieran. Bench Ritter and cut.
Trubisky. That's terrible.
Hey guys, I found Mitch.
Yeah, that's what it is. Trash. Definitely.
Yeah.
He also
You
said
wrong for
Stephon
that.
Diggs or AJ Brown. I still got Diggs.
Stefon Diggs.
Yeah,
I mean, I still got stuff on, but you can't.
Don't get me wrong. AJ Brown's an Ole Miss guy. I love him. I know AJ personally, but it's like no. If I'm talking like who is the better receiver, like break it down. Stefon can do everything way better than AJ can.
I don't know about that,
But that's just me. I mean, there's some things in his game that I think AJ can do better, but I think overall, I think Stefon could be better. But
I think at this point in his career, like AJ Brown's better.
At this point in his career, I mean, that's not crazy to say. I'm not basing it off of like what they've done. I'm basing it off like as a receiver.
Because if you're basing it off what they say, then obviously, or what they've done, then it's obviously AJ. Since
AJ, but I'm basing it off of like as a receiver, like break it down like what the receiver does in the game. I would say Stefon, but if we were if we were gonna say like if what they've done in their career, AJ would be over it because AJ's been to a Super Bowl. So,
well, I mean, Sports Talk mentioned this last season, like in like January. I mean, it's not crazy to say that those two are close.
Yeah,
I just think it's people that like think like one is clearly like way better. And I was like that because like I was on my Diggs hate train, but like,
yeah. Before we move on, I would like to talk about this though. Is this the year for Jordan Love? I got to see it to believe it, bro. Like I'm up and down because Jordan Love. I love the potential. You know, I love the potential he got. But come on, like people are really going crazy because again, won the playoff game, right? But it was against the Dallas Cowboys, which we already know what they are.
Let's not act like he have a fantastic. Let's not act like he didn't throw for 400 yards in that game.
Like he walked over that.
He went crazy.
He had a perfect passer in. Like, come on, bro.
I don't know how he's going to be his second year.
The way you're saying it is very disingenuous.
I don't know how he's going to be that second year because right now, I'm just going to be very, very honest. I think the Chicago Bears have gotten more dangerous. They've added a lot to that team. Although they'll have a rookie quarterback, it will be Caleb Williams, and he has a hell of a lot of weapons at his disposal. That team was already number one in run defense already. So it's going to be interesting to see. And they re-signed Jalen Johnson. Not to mention, you got to think about this too. Hey, Detroit, they return more than half their team.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to think about that as well. You got to think about all of that. So, I mean, Chicago added a lot to their team. Detroit kept their team intact. So, I mean, you got to think about all of that.
My thing I would push back on Chicago is that I trust Green Bay's coaching way more than Chicago. I trust Matt Moore as like a better play caller.
But again, that's not really saying much knowing his playoff reputation.
I'm just saying this right now. Besides the Lions, like a lot of the NFC teams that were like top of the NFC last year got worse. Like I think the Niners got slightly worse. They're probably going to get even worse if Brandon Ayuk's gone. Dallas got like they're kind of the same team, but they're slightly worse. They lost Tyron Smith. Green Bay has the most potential because one, they got a really young quarterback. They got really young receivers. They took another step lead. Like I can see Jordan Love winning MVP next year. I do. I'm being honest. Like he looks like a top 5 quarterback the second half of the season last year. So
yeah. Grant, you got any thoughts?
No, I mean, I get it because the thing with Jordan Love is, and I think this is a thing I have to give credit to Green Bay. When they drafted him, a lot of people, I remember when they drafted him, and a lot of people were questioning the move. But when you have him sit behind Aaron Rodgers for that time period and have him develop, the way he was performing, was it amazing at the beginning of the season? No, but at the very end, like Kieran said, he was playing at almost at a top 5 level. Now, I look at this season with the weapons that Green Bay has. I'm going to be honest with you. My biggest concern with Jordan Love is, again, the sophomore slump, because I always feel like we have these talks about these dudes and then they completely collapse. Now, with Jordan Love, I feel like they have enough on that team that's going to be able to not have to have him make as many difficult decisions in game. But at the end of the day, with Green Bay, I kind of feel like, the North is just the most interesting division. But with Jordan Love himself, I think he's gonna show up and show out, because now he's had a year under his belt. He's getting time to understand the system. And now with what happens in the draft with Green Bay, I think he can have a better season, maybe even somewhat to like top, maybe like an MVP season. Like, I think he can do that if he can play with this weapons he has and play consistently. Like, if he has a up and down and just bounces all around, it's not going to happen. I just think he has the potential to have a better season than he had last year. Because let's be honest, he got Green Bay into the playoffs this season, and the only reason why he lost is because his defense collapsed and he had to make a bad throw. So I mean,
I'm not gonna lie, that throw is one of the worst I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah. So I'm not gonna like sit here and say like that was on him, but I think he has now more talent, a chance to prove himself, because if he can prove himself with his Green Bay team, I just think that's going to make the North more interesting in general. So I think he has to prove it.
I think Green Bay is like second, because even though like Minnesota and Chicago on paper have a better team, Caleb Williams is also a rookie. He's probably going to make rookie mistakes. We can't expect every rookie to be like CJ Stroud. I don't think Caleb Williams is going to be that great right away. It might take him a year or two, but like they'll be good in like 2 to 3 years, but not like year one. So that's why I'm pushing back on Chicago and Minnesota. Like, listen, if they don't get a quarterback, Sam Darnold is just not doing anything. So
No.
And I think with Chicago, more for me, Karen, it's just the coaching thing and the way they've treated quarterbacks. I'm not saying they're going to do the same thing to Caleb, because I'm really hoping that they don't. But the biggest fear I've had with Chicago is if we look at their past, whenever they've had a quarterback into that system, the coach didn't trust him. They didn't give him the support he needed, and he just collapsed. And now, but looking at the Bears now, they have Keenan Allen. They have all these other pieces. So I think Caleb's going to is walking essentially to the best situation for a quarterback in the draft. So I think he's going to be fine. But looking at the North in general, honestly, I think it's going to be for me personally, I think it's either going to be between Green Bay and Detroit, because I just feel like both those teams are going to keep it tight. I have nothing, and a lot of people are saying the Bears are going to do it. No. I just don't think it's going to happen in year one. Like, as much as, like, don't get me wrong, Caleb Williams is a crazy quarterback prospect. I'm not trying to discredit him, but I don't think he's good. We've set this expectation, and I think it's because of what happened with CJ Stroud and the way he completely blew up on the Texans this season, that Caleb Williams is going to sink like that. I think he's going to need 1 year, and then that next year it's going to skyrocket. I'm not saying like he's going to be horrible. I'm just saying let's calm down a little and set this Bears team up for this too high of an expectation. Because if they collapse, it's just not going to work out. But go ahead.
Like, I just think the problem, like, people with like Caleb Williams, they think he's like an Andrew Luck 4 prospect. He's not. Like, he's like a tier down for me. Like, like Andrew Luck right away is good. Like, he can be like a top 10 quarterback right away. I don't feel that way about Caleb Williams. Like, he has too many flaws in his game to like be like that. So,
hey, Kieran, you know better than I do. What are some of the flaws that you think is going to affect his game next year?
The problem I think the problem is like Caleb Williams tries to play too much hero ball. Like, and I don't think that's going to translate year one. Like, yeah, Mahomes could do it because he's like Patrick Mahomes and he's playing an Andy Reid system like year one. But I'm not really sure it's going to do in Chicago. But we'll see.
Karen, I agree with what you said about like the hero ball, because watching a lot But also, like, I have an issue with his decision making because, like, you look at, like, yeah, he had a phenomenal season, 2022 Heisman Trophy winner, and then heading into last season, oh yeah, no, he looked like this. He looked like the same dude. Granted, they played an easy ass schedule the first half of the season, but like, prime example of the hero ball was the Notre Dame game because Heisman front runner, he's gonna carry the Trojans to victory against the Irish because they hadn't won in South Bend in over a decade. And what did he do?
He completely folded.
Made horrible decisions all night. 0 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. They got their asses handed to them.
Do you think I have to ask the panel this question? And I'm not trying to play devil's advocate. This is a legitimate question. Do you think a lot of that hero ball in college was the fact that he knew darn well that his defense could stop a nosebleed in the wintertime?
I mean, that's
really think that?
I mean, I think that's the thing. Like, I'm a huge college football guy, so this kind of makes sense. With Lincoln Riley offenses, it's specifically based on the offensive side of the ball. So they don't really particularly care for the defense. Now, I'm not trying to say, like, with Caleb, that's the difference, but we have to understand when he was at Oklahoma, he literally pulled off one of the greatest comebacks in the history of the Red River rivalry. We all remember when they benched Spencer Rattler, who we were talking about at that time as a Heisman favorite, for Caleb Williams, and he ran that team and then he shocked the world. Now, I think with Caleb, it's like I can see the decision-making thing that could be a negative factor because when I went back and watched the film from the Notre Dame game, 2 of those interceptions, I think one of them was like he was looking this one direction and the receiver was going the other way, and he thought he could throw it, and he didn't realize the coverage that he was in. The other one was just a bad read. But my thing also is this. If Caleb's going to be able to perform, he's got to do well under pressure. Because I'm not going to lie to you, with Chicago's O-line, I hope they revamp it up to make it look somewhat safer. But if he has situations where he's under pressure, that's the only thing that's kind of like making me worried. Not that it's like I think it's going to be the gigantic factor, but I think it's something he's going to have to be able to be cool and play under pressure. Because I think with
but I think another game that really got under my skin just watching Caleb Williams this season was the UCLA game. Because like you watch that game, like, first half, even though they're getting blown out by a lot, like, yeah, he was still trying to fight, get the Trojans back into the game, but then it's just like he just gave up.
I mean, and like the reason like White Luck is like a better prospect to me. He's like much better in the pocket. He was like more calm in the pocket. Like I don't think Caleb is there yet, but he could definitely get there one day. Like,
all right, John.
Also, like, one last point about Caleb Williams, like watching like the San Jose State game and the Nevada game, like, yeah, his receivers had crazy catches, but like, you look at the throws he made for those receivers that have crazy catches, 9 times out of 10 in the NFL, that's getting picked.
Yeah.
Because he tried to put it in a severely tight window. Luckily, he was playing Mountain West defenses, which are known to let anything happen. But like 9 times out of 10, even if it's the worst defense in the NFL, I don't know who was ranked dead last in defense last year, but let's say the Commanders for example, even though they were one of the higher ranked teams, but higher ranked defenses, but they're one of the worst teams. Even 9 times out of 10, that is getting picked off.
Yeah. I just hope Caleb Williams doesn't have Brett Favre syndrome.
That's crazy.
I mean, if he does, I mean, when you win it, that's fine. But when you start losing, I mean, that's when it becomes a problem.
No, granted, Brett Favre was an all-time great quarterback, but he should Brett Favre should have been a lot better. But
I mean, I think if they would have kept Mike Holmgren, if he would have stayed with him throughout his entire career, I think it would have been better.
Yeah. Real quick before we go to basketball, Brad, anything you would like to say about your boy Smitty getting paid 3 years, $75 million contract extension?
Finally,
they were gonna have to pay him sooner or later.
And I had been waiting for this to happen because Landon got extended, Jordan got extended, Reed got a 1-year extension. I'm like, all right, when's Smitty up? And I mean, we got him the perfect deal, in my opinion, because, I mean, they exercised the 5th-year option, which I don't think they should have done, but exercised 5th-year option, then 3 years, 51 guaranteed, 25 a year. I mean, are people going to say that's an overpay? Sure. But
people will say that.
I think he will deserve that money.
Definitely. Anybody else?
I mean, it was hot time you had to pay him because I feel like I kind of felt like they were dragging it out and trying to figure out how much they were going to pay him. When I saw how much they were paying him, especially in the contract details, I was just like, yeah, this is what he deserves. Because if you're going to pay him anything less, then it's kind of like you're spitting in his face. You're going to have to pay him that much money in the first place and give him what he deserves because he's done a lot for your team, regardless of what people might think about like his output. I think he deserves it.
So, by the way.
Oh, yeah, Caitlin Clark.
My opinion about Devontae, like, I don't think he got overpaid. Like, he's a really good receiver. I don't think he's elite one, but like he's a really, really good receiver. So,
hey, go be interested to see what the Cowboys do for CeeDee Lamb.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Oh, CeeDee Lamb's about to get like, he might get Devontae Adams money.
And you know what? I won't be surprised because they're gonna have to pay him what he's worth. And
the thing is, though, because if Dak does walk, that's a heavy cap.
He's walking.
Saying,
I am under the impression that Dak is walking after next year because I don't think they're going to find a way for him to stay.
The thing is, also in that case, Mike is going to walk because Dallas will not have the money to pay him.
Yeah, they won't. That's
the money to pay. They're not going to have the money to pay Micah after that big cap hit. Will they have the money to pay CD? So will CD also walk?
Hey, it's going to be interesting to see. Hey,
and I'm
it's going
not
to be
just saying that,
interesting.
he's an Eagles fan. He ain't for the Cowboys. No, I'm thinking about it logistically.
I think that here's the thing. I was thinking about that earlier. My biggest fear with it is once Dak, I'm under the impression Dak is going to walk. If he walks, you're now in a situation where you're going to have to either get someone to fill that spot, and then you're going to have to figure out who you're going to pay. Because if he walks, it's harder to put those contracts in together for CD and for Micah. Because I think Micah's going to ask for a huge deal. And I think he deserves it. And that's the thing. If Dallas can't pay it.
First team All Pro, one-time second team All Pro, 3-time Pro Bowler in his first.
And he hasn't even reached his potential yet.
Exactly.
Yeah, he's got way more to go. So you better pay him what he deserves. Do not let Michael walk.
Don't be surprised if Dallas takes a quarterback in the first or the second round. Don't be surprised. No, don't be surprised. No. Hear me out on this. It's a hot take, but hear me out. The thing is, I don't think that they're going to bring Dak back next year.
They're not.
I don't think they're going to bring him back.
They're not.
Okay.
The best thing that you can do right about now is see one of these quarterbacks in this draft and get you one of them.
They might give Trey Lance a shot.
No, they need to give Trey Lance a shot because I'm going to say this. I said this, and people are going to call me crazy. After this season, you're going to have Dak leave. Give Trey Lance to start, bro. There's no reason why y'all didn't bring him in if y'all weren't going to have him up there just to be a bench warmer. If Dak walks, give him a chance to prove himself because he never really got the start he wanted in San Francisco because he got hurt like 3 weeks in. So, I mean, and I'm not saying it's like he's going to be like an amazing replacement. I'm just saying like he at least needs a chance to show what he's got because I think he's talented enough to be as a quarterback in the league. I just think he got it cut short because of injury.
I crapped on Trey Lance. I said he was the biggest bust in the last 10 years. Like he needs to prove me wrong, bro.
To be honest with you, that team he went to I'm not gonna say it was a bad situation, but that was an unrealistic expectation coming in as a rookie quarterback because he was expected to win right now. I mean, because they was in win now mode, the San Francisco 49ers was. And I don't think that's an ideal situation for you to be in as a rookie quarterback unless you, let's say, Andrew Luck or John Elway type of character. Other than that, no, I don't think you're going to make it.
No, that's completely fair. I just think Dallas is in a situation where they're going to have to make a lot of tough decisions, and some of them might have to be the ones that are going to cost them essentially. And I think that's the biggest thing. I think a lot of people are not really thinking about what Dallas, because when you look at what they have on that team with all those pieces, I'm just saying right now, the biggest fear I have is once Dak leaves, it's about to become a cataclysmic collapse. I think you're going to have to make a ton of tough decisions, and it's going to have to make it harder for Dallas. I think Dallas, this is it. This is their last year to at least have a shot to get into the playoffs and get farther up the road. Because if you don't win it because let's be honest, say hypothetically this season, Dallas makes the playoffs, they get Same spot they've always been. It's just another year of wasted opportunity. And I'm not trying to say this to troll. I'm being honest. It's just like I don't think Dallas has a lot more time left to capitalize on the opportunity to get farther in the playoffs. Because this team, every year they've had one, it's like you're sitting here and thinking this team could be a legit Super Bowl contender. And I'm not trying to say that to be. I'm just like, if Dallas doesn't get it done this year, they're probably not going to get it done for the next 10.
Yep.
They're in a situation now where all the pieces, you have the pieces now, and this is the same thing I said last year on PC. If they don't get it done, they have a time limit, and it's like a bomb. You've got a specific amount of time, and if you don't get it done in that span of time, it's going to blow up. Dallas does not have any more time to waste. You have to get this playoff run now, and you got to get yourself at least a Super Bowl run. If you don't, and Dak walks, you're done for the next 10 years. Because I'm going to tell you right now, they're not going to look at me with a straight face and tell me that there's anyone on Dallas that's going to be able to help them in that situation. Yeah. That's not me just trying to be a jerk. I'm being completely honest. But that's all I got to say.
So, little visual aid for you guys. This is the door. The Cowboys. Right now, the way that with that team, there's no excuse that they haven't made at least one NFC Championship game. And I'm not saying it because, he's an Eagle fan and trying to troll Cowboys. No. Again, logistically, you look at that team, there's no excuse that they have not made at least one or two NFC Championship games. But now,
I agree.
Is about right here. And it is closing fast.
Yeah, that's why I said essentially you got this year, and if it doesn't work out, you're not gonna get it done anytime soon. So,
all right, y'all, man. Casual, what's up, bro?
Yo, what's good?
What's up? Hey, man. Basketball season
for the background, by the
is
way.
slowly ending, but hey, the play-in is finally here, man. We got some games to talk about. I'm about to share the screen right now for some of the games. Y'all might see it, but the Tuesday we got the Lakers versus the Pelicans at 7:30 Eastern time. Then we got Golden State and Kings 10 o'clock Eastern time on TNT. And then on Wednesday we got the Miami Heat versus the 76ers on Wednesday, and the Hawks and Bulls at 9:30. We're gonna start from the top, man. The Lakers versus the Pelicans. Who y'all got winning that game?
So you're telling me America's rooting for the Pelicans and the Kings? Got it.
Well,
That's
I have
wild.
a question. I have a
That's
question.
crazy.
Is Anthony Davis playing?
That is crazy.
AD, he should.
Is he
So
playing?
done, y'all aren't winning.
Yes, he's playing. Yeah, why isn't he playing?
Well, I thought he got hurt last game.
Yeah, he did. He did. But I just hold on. Let me, because I read something.
Yeah, it was like a sprain, but it wasn't nothing serious, and they haven't they're not playing until Tuesday, so he's had enough time.
I mean, I'll expect this game to be closer than it was, but I'll give it to the Lakers.
Okay. Casual, what you got? Who you got?
I'm going to go with the Lakers just because I although the Pelicans have a better defensive unit, like collectively, as opposed to the Lakers, I just believe in a front line that is anchored by Anthony Davis, who I consider to be the best defensive player in the NBA at this point in time. And also with LeBron playing at the level that he's playing at, and he's peaking offensively right now, like not all as far as his career, but just as far as like his best version of himself at this stage of his career, he's peaking right now. And so I'll take that and their consistency defensively over the New Orleans Pelicans. Plus, I really just don't believe in Zion Williamson, his production maintaining going up against Anthony Davis. He can't go anywhere with his right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he can't. Oh, by the way, Karen, I got the update on LeBron James listed as probable, and
AD questionable.
Yeah, AD's questionable.
AD's questionable. Yeah, that's what I
Now, if Anthony Davis
didn't practice today, which I found.
If Anthony Davis doesn't play, all bets are off.
If Anthony Davis doesn't play, I'm picking the Pelicans.
Yeah,
Shoot.
if Anthony Davis doesn't play,
I mean, I'm
you
not
take
trying to
him-
be
you have
that
to take
guy,
the
but
Pelicans.
like, don't get me wrong. Watching AD, it's like if AD is, not, I'm not. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to disrespect LeBron, but I just feel like LeBron's not going to be able to like carry
No,
if he's not having help from AD, and
not
and it's not
in his career, no.
and it's not to be clear for any diehard Braun fans. I'm not disrespecting LeBron. Chill. I'm saying that I feel like if AD is not there to at least give him a little bit of help, Braun's not going to be able to carry your team against the Pelicans. That's all I'm saying. Right now, I got Lakers winning, but that's subjective because I don't trust Zion. And I've kind of just given up on Zion Williamson because it's just like for a multitude of reasons outside of the fact that this season he's just been all over the place. And it's just like, I don't know. I would rather see it be consistent rather than see Zion just come in and just play. Like, because let's be honest, we don't know what Zion's going to do right now. Like, and it's just for me, it's like I could sit here and tell you everything I think that's wrong with Zion. I just don't trust them right now to beat LA right now in the series. Because if 80's playing, LA's winning that game. But I got Lakers winning regardless. So,
What? Can I ask a question? What is Anthony? I mean, not Anthony Davis. What has Zion Williamson been inconsistent at this season?
This is
He's
the
shooting.
okay.
I know it's
It's-
mid
I
range.
mean, he's never been touted as a shooter, and he hasn't been shooting this year.
I don't think he's like. I don't know. His defense doesn't do enough for me.
He was coming into the league. He has not been a good defender. So, like, my whole thing is when it comes to Zion Williamson, the only thing that you expect from him is to progress as a playmaker, progress as a rebounder, progress as a finisher, and
I think
more
he's improved
more
as a
various ways.
passer.
I think he's improved as a passer as well. I think he's improved as a finisher.
Yeah. But like, it's just like everything else. Like, can't space the floor. Not that great on defense. Like, he should at this point of his career be a way better defender than he is. But
my whole thing is if you believed in Zion Williamson at any point of his career, with the logic of when healthy he can be an elite player, I don't see why this season would make you switch up. Actually, I think that this season would actually be the season.
I mean, 2021, in my opinion, is his best season, and that was almost 4 years ago. So.
I would urge you to look at this season because even that season, he was atrocious as a playmaker.
Yeah, but bro, dude, like,
and even this season, defensively, I don't think he gets enough credit for his development as a roamer. That's a part of the reason why the Pelicans are a top 10 defense is because his roaming ability with Valanciunas' size, being able to hinder a lot of bigs and forwards from getting to the rim. That's helping them a lot. It also helps having Herb Jones and Trey Murphy, but
yeah.
But I mean, I'm definitely right now picking the Lakers, but like as Grant said, that's subjective because if AD doesn't play, there's a good chance the Pels win that game.
Chat, who you got, man?
Look, I'm just gonna be very, very honest with you, man. I got the Lakers winning, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Pelicans pull it out.
Yep.
I would. It just wouldn't surprise me. And I'll ask Casual this question.
Yes, sir.
Well, matter of fact, I'll ask everybody. Do you think if the Lakers lose the play-in completely, it doesn't make the playoff? Do y'all think it's time to blow it up completely?
Yep.
Yes.
Yes. Most
Right.
definitely.
Yeah.
Actually, I feel like they should have.
I have to. I
They
mean,
should have blew it up last season, but
they should have blown it up a long time ago, but they didn't. Kind of
bro.
expected.
At this point, like let's look at their team. They have a 39-year-old LeBron James. Like, they have Anthony Davis, who's 31 and is injured. Like, he's been healthy this season, but like more often than not, he's injured a lot. And they're the 8th seed in the West. Like, it's obvious it's just like not working. Like,
Yeah,
it's not because of Anthony Davis. I would leave Anthony Davis out of it. It's just simply because there's an obvious ceiling to this Lakers unit. And as long as you have
besides Anthony Davis, is like their defense is atrocious. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
And our other, supposed to be reliable defender, Vando, he always hurt.
I think he's
well,
out.
Well, the problem with
Vando. So right now,
you can't play Vando like 30 minutes a game because he's just like terrible offense.
So right now, according to
Vando
the
is the
injury
Western
report,
Conference. Jonathan
AD
Isaac.
and LeBron are both game time decisions. Vando's out, Christian Wood's out, and that's it.
Okay.
So
Yeah, Vanderbilt is the Western Conference. Jonathan Isaac.
that's crazy.
All right.
God damn.
Hey man, let's move on to the next game, man. The Warriors versus the Kings. I think this is gonna be a great game.
I think both teams score like a lot.
Yeah. Who y'all got winning this game?
Coin flip.
It is. It definitely is.
It's this one's so tough because
I'm gonna rock with Golden State just because of the experience.
I mean, like my thing is like the Kings should be a better team. Like
It should
the
be.
Warriors,
Yeah, if we have facts, Kieran.
like the Warriors, like this year were just like up and down, like the whole season. Like I don't know, and like Steph is slightly getting worse. Like I don't know. It's tough. The Kings are at home.
I mean, the Kings have had brutal injuries with their season, and I think, but the Warriors have had a lot of people step up too, like Kuminga, and Klay Thompson's ended the season playing pretty solid. This is just tough for me because both teams are just so good. It's like you could go either way, but for me, it's like whenever there's been a moment where they've needed them to perform, I never doubt Steph Curry ever. And even though he hasn't been the greatest season that he's had, I trust Golden State more in a situation like this. So I think Golden State wins.
Okay. Bro, you say it's a coin flip. You don't know?
Yeah, I don't know because like Sacramento, they ended off the season pretty well, but like looking at Golden State, I mean, it was just like a roller coaster this year. It's like sometimes it looks great, sometimes it looks great.
Wait, isn't the game in Sacramento?
Yes,
it is.
Oh crap! I didn't realize that.
Screw it. I'm gonna say the Kings get their revenge.
I'm not saying that's going to be that much of a game changer, but I'm still riding with Golden State. It's just that's going to still be a tough environment, especially if we saw like how the fans were in the playoff environment last season. Because think about that place.
I was just gonna say I'm gonna pick the Warriors. Because I said the Kings wouldn't make the playoffs, so I got to keep with my narrative.
All right. Casual, who you got?
I'm gonna go with the Warriors. One thing I do want to correct the gentleman that said that the Kings ended the season off right. They actually didn't. They lost against teams under 500. They were successful, but against teams that were above 500, they have a negative record. By the end of the season, they lost to Dallas both times. They lost to New York Knicks.
If I'm being honest,
you said what?
I kind of just skimmed through the schedule if I was being honest.
Yeah. No. It's fine. I just wanted to correct it because the thing is when it comes to the Kings, like my whole issue with them is their offense isn't as potent as it was last year, in large part due to injuries. But then on the other hand, defenses aren't like surprised by them any longer. Like the DHOs that they were running were like they were catching people by surprise, and defenses hadn't caught up. But during this season, you could tell that like teams are just they're scheming for that because they understand how Sacramento is playing. Their defense got better, but it still hasn't gotten better to the point to where I would take them over Golden State Warriors defense with Draymond Green, Andrew Wiggins, Jonathan Kuminga at the helm. And so when I'm looking at that, and I still feel like even with Steph having the slippage that he's having, Steph is still a 45, 40, 92 guy. And when you ask him to deliver, especially in a game where you don't have to win, it's not a 7-game series. It's just one game. You just need Stephen Curry to turn the switch on. I trust that more than I trust the Sacramento Kings.
Yeah, and I also don't trust Sabonis in like any playoff scenario.
Especially against the Golden State Warriors.
I also think the Kings fall off is because like teams are just more healthy this year, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I kind of said it's tougher for me, but I'm never doubting Steph Curry in a moment where they need him to perform. So that's why I'm picking Golden State. Like,
yeah. Champ, who you got?
Heart goes with Steph Curry.
All
And my brain is going to go with Steph Curry and the Warriors as well, because the experience factor, you got to take that into consideration as well. And like Casual said, which I'm glad he went first, and I didn't have to be the first one to bring that up. The Kings didn't look didn't look spectacular down the stretch. They didn't look spectacular, and that's a real big concern to me. So, I mean, plus you got to ask yourself the same thing that you're asking about the Lakers this year. I mean, do you blow it up next year if you're the Kings? Not the Kings, excuse me. The Golden State Warriors at this point. Is it time to start trading all these assets in order to get younger? Because, hey, if you play your cards right, one team has proved to us, which hopefully we'll get into them later. One team has proved you can move one regime out and move another one in very, very quickly, and that's the Oklahoma City Thunder. I mean, they've rebuilt one hell of a team. I mean, and looking for where that team was less than 10 years ago to where it is now, it doesn't have as many Hall of Famers on that team as it did back when KD, Westbrook, and Harden was on that team, and Serge was on that team. But that team is looking darn good. And hey, tip my hat off to one of the greatest GMs of all time, is Sam Presti, because you got to give credit where credit is due on that.
Definitely. All right, y'all, man. Next game, we're going to the east side. We got the Miami Heat versus Broad Philadelphia 76ers. Broad, I think I know where you're leaning towards.
Yeah, I mean, this team was up and down the entire season, especially after Embiid's injury. But I mean, look at the way that they've played since he's gotten back. They've won 8 in a row. They're gonna make it 9.
All right, bet. Champ, back to you. Who you got?
Let me break some. Hey, man, as long as Joel and I hate the fact that he got hurt, man.
Yeah, that's the thing that.
He was front runner for MVP before.
That was one of the best seasons that I've been around a long time, and that was one of the best seasons that I had seen by a center in a long time. For him to be that efficient with the ball like that is flat out amazing. And with him being back and in full effect like this, I think it's gonna be the Sixers at this point, man. I can't wait to see it, man. It's gonna be interesting to see.
All right, go ahead, Karen.
This one's tough for me because I pick the Sixers because they just have the better player, and I know Bam struggles against like bigger guys like Jokic and Embiid, but like Jimmy Butler, I don't know, he's my guy. So, and we know in a playoff setting, especially like in the first round, like he's really good. I think it's gonna come down to like the other guys on the team. Like I don't think it's just gonna be Embiid or Jimmy. I think it's gonna be guys like Maxey. Is he gonna step up? Kelly Oubre. Yeah.
Who's been solid this season? I didn't.
Bro, what? No. My thing is, no. I'm mad because I'm a Knicks fan because I have to play one of these teams.
I know.
And I'm gonna be. I kind of.
You either want the Atlantic rivalry or you want your revenge against the Heat.
Okay. I'm gonna pick the Heat because I don't want to play the Sixers.
That's crazy.
I knew it was gonna.
Casual, what's your thoughts? Who you got?
See, I'm torn on this one just because I'm emotionally I want the Philadelphia 76ers to win just because I feel like Joel Embiid was shortchanged this year. This is Joel Embiid before he got hurt was breaking down the barriers of what it means to be a historic efficient scorer in NBA history. Like he was giving you 35 on some of the most efficient. Yeah. And so wanting him to win would pull me to vote for the 76ers, but Miami has a top 5 defense and it's legit. And Bam Adebayo is a top 5 defender. And Joel Embiid he's even if he does play, he's compromised. He's not even getting his best version. Add that to the fact that the Heat have shooting and scores. So and they have the best head coach in the league. So I'm gonna have to go with the Heat.
I bet. Kenny, what's up, bro?
What's good with them boys?
What's up? Yo, Grant, who you got, man?
Look, I'm
You
gonna keep it a buck. I honestly, the Sixers are only really in this position for me because I feel like if Embiid wasn't hurt, this would be a completely different team.
facts.
Because Embiid, and when he came back, they've looked really good. And I think the thing for me is this is probably going to be controversial. Playoff Jimmy is a real thing. And after last year, what he did against the Bucks, I totally believe it now. And I think what I think is going to be the key factor is the Heat have played against the Heat well over the years, but the stat that I just saw, Miami's going 5-3 in games where both Embiid and Bam Adebayo played over the past 3 seasons that they've been in here. So I'm not trying to. As much as I feel like it's a mistake to count playoff Jimmy out. I think about it to last year. They lost their first playing game with the Hawks, and before beating the Bulls, must win for that 8 seed. And I think this is going to be a really fun chess match between these two great coaches, in Spoelstra and Nick Nurse, with a bunch of playoff performers. But if I'm going to go ahead and just pick a team, it's 76ers are going to win. And as much as I love Miami, I just think now with Embiid back, they're about to be they're now a well-oiled machine. I think there's not going to be a lot of struggle. So I got 76ers winning this one.
All right, bet. Kenny, who you got, man? Philly or the Heat?
I got Miami, man. Playoff Jimmy Butler is a real thing, and well, for one, I'll say this: if Joel Embiid is healthy, to me that can go either way. But I'm gonna still go with the Heat. Also, broad, fuck you.
That's wild.
Why you come up here with this old
That
wild
man be
stuff
trolling
going
like
on,
that.
Come on, Kenny.
Who hurt you?
Bro, Broad versus Kenny rivalry is real, bro.
Dang,
You know you're ugly when you're sitting here with your camera turned off.
that's crazy.
I'm at work
why-
right
hey,
now, bro.
Hey, all right, we're gonna do this
You know you're
last.
ugly when you're sitting there just talking without your camera on.
That's
Because
wild.
you're too afraid
I
to
do-
show that nut-ass hairline of yours.
I'm doing my job, bro.
Hey, all right, next game we're gonna talk about the Hawks versus the Bulls. Kenny, back to you.
I love my hometown team, but unfortunately, I'm gonna go with the Georgias. I'm gonna go with the Atlanta Hawks. Trey Young, DeJounte Murray, and them boys. So, yeah, give me the Atlanta Hawks.
All right, bet. Broad, who you got?
It's just like the Hawks were just a weird team this year. I mean, so was Chicago, but I don't know, just watching that Bulls-Knicks game and seeing the fight that Chicago at least showed. I'm sorry, champ. I gotta go Chicago.
So good.
All right. Champ, who you got?
What are the Chicago Bulls without Michael Jordan? Cows. So I'm going with the Atlanta Hawks, man.
House is wild. Yo.
So that's exactly what they've been like without Mike. And let's give Derrick Rose a lot of credit too, but without them, cows. So the Chicago Cows.
And what have the Hawks been their entire time in Atlanta? Pigeons.
Hey, I'm gonna just be real. Look, I'm gonna just be real with you. Hey, you gotta say this. I will say this. Look, let me say this. The only game in town that has been winning championships consistently is the soccer team and the baseball team. I mean,
Atlanta
won hockey.
MLS Cup.
Huh?
Atlanta United has won one MLS Cup.
I mean, within the second year.
Wait, Brandon, what draft are we doing? Are we doing NBA or NFL?
That draft is weirdly specific though.
Yeah, it's a draft, but it's we doing it by categories. I'll show you in a minute, Kenny.
It's weirdly specific.
Yeah, I mean, when you talk about the Atlanta Hawks, we're not necessarily. We haven't expected a championship really since Dominique Wilkins. I'm just being real, bro.
I mean, y'all didn't win a championship with Dominique Wilkins.
They never even made a conference final with Dominique Wilkins.
I know, but that was the only time we was even expecting to win one. But,
I wouldn't say that because y'all did have Joe Johnson, y'all had Josh Smith, Jeff Teague, and them boys. So,
but they were expected at any time they were gonna win.
But I think that Hawks team was better than the Dominique.
2015, they were the best team in the league.
That's what I'm
Granted,
saying.
Matthew Dellavedova kind of screwed the Hawks in Game 2 when he stepped on Kyle Korver's ankle, but I mean, the Hawks just got their ass beat in that conference final.
You're
Look
going
who he
against
played. He
LeBron.
played LeBron. I mean,
Jeff T, Kyle Korver, Al Horford, and all those boys, and
DeMonte Carroll was on that
Millsap and
team.
all them, and they got to the conference. Then they met LeBron and back to back. So
All right. Grant, who you got?
So I was thinking about this. The Bulls, for me, this season have been a very weird team because they came back. Because we got to remember they started the season 5-14, and they managed to be able to pull it all the way back to where they are now. And I think the Hawks are kind of playing at the same level without Trae Young as they were with him because correct me if I'm wrong, Young is coming back from a hand injury and he's probably going to play, right? So I think the Hawks are kind of banged up a little because I think Sadiq Bey is hurt, Jalen Johnson, and I think Okongwu is hurt too, if I'm not mistaken.
So injuries too.
I wish Okongwu just not playing.
Is he just not playing? Okay. So
I'm sorry to interrupt, Grant. I have some breaking news. Kawhi Leonard has been injured.
Okay.
That's
But go ahead, Grant.
It's kind of like telling the world.
What was that face?
Kenny, that's kind of like telling the world I ate a sandwich.
That's what I'm like, okay.
Like telling the world I ate a sandwich.
Okay. All right.
What was that face?
I was like, okay.
The sky's blue, the grass is green. Like
I said, man, hey, that's kind of like telling the world, hey, champ ate a sandwich today. Okay.
It's like, we're even surprised at this point. It's Kawhi, but that's a whole different story. So to make it short,
What kind of thing was tomato cheese?
Oh no, it was hey man, it was a big old Reuben sandwich, man.
Hold on. Do you corned beef or pastrami?
Pastrami.
Attaboy.
That's why I ain't gonna lie to you. That's why I didn't respond. That's why I didn't say anything about the post that you put in the group chat, is because what you posted, it's been speculated for like the last 3 weeks, bro. Like he's been
really?
Yes, he's been dealing with knee swelling apparently for like the last month or so.
I mean,
Kawhi need to just retire.
I mean, he has degenerative knees apparently, so, and being in the medical field, if you have degenerative knees, nigga, you're on a time. You basically you're on a time clock.
I think Kawhi. I'll say this, and I'll just give him a prediction. I think Kawhi is like a ticking time bomb. I don't know how much more his knees are going to stay up before it completely falls apart. The fact that that he's been able to play this much with the injuries and stuff has just been impressive. I think I honestly am worried that Kawhi is going to get to a point where it's just he's going to go to the wheels fall off and then he's going to be done. I would rather him do that because he's already got the chip. So, I mean, it's not like it's going to be travesty, but I don't know how much more he's got left. But
Finals MVP.
Yeah, so, I mean, there's not anything else that he can get. But to get my pick, I think the Bulls are going to win it. I think it's going to be close because I think it's going to be how they're able to focus on getting DeMar DeRozan mismatches and working through his mid-range game, or probably using Vucevic as a passing up. And then what I think the Hawks are going to try to do is especially give it to Trae Young, gun up threes, get lob dunks, get the ball moving. But I think Chicago's going to have a more consistent game plan, and I think Chicago's going to edge it out.
All right, quick question I have to ask the panel. I have to ask this is I know this is, like I said, I'm going the Kenny route a little bit lately. Is Kawhi, in you guys' opinion, the top 5 small forward of all time?
Who?
Yes.
No.
Kawhi.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Okay. No, I'm just asking because I consider him. I thought it was a hot take.
I have Kawhi Leonard over Kevin Durant.
I can't do that.
Okay, bro.
Well, I can.
Bro, Kenny. See, Kenny, you need to stop, bro. You need to stop with this KD, bro.
I don't even. Hey, I'll hate all you want, bro.
Why do you have? I have to ask Kenny this, man. He's my brother. But I gotta
it's not.
Why?
No, why would you
please.
go down this rabbit hole, OG? God.
Yeah, you are.
I just want to.
Oh, hold up.
No.
I haven't been here for this, so
I
gotta ask. Why?
Yeah, OG.
Wait, what?
Kenny, why do you
I
have?
said why?
Why do you have Kawhi over KD? Is it because of the defense?
No.
He has Kawhi over who? Oh my god. No. Oh my god.
Because outside.
You just
Because
heard that now?
Wait,
I'm
you just now
gonna
learned?
make sure I heard that right. Say that again. What did
Bro,
you just say?
can he say his take?
Now?
You guys stop freaking
Hold on, let
out.
Kenny explain. Let Kenny explain.
for one, outside of Golden State, like as the number one option, what has really Kevin Durant done outside of that taking the OKC team to the finals in 2012?
He
And
has an
then
MVP. He has multiple All
besides
NBA
MVP
appearances.
scoring time, okay, I don't count that. What has he done in the playoffs?
He's actually translated very well. Besides like 2 seasons, and
Yeah,
one of those seasons, his co-star was completely eliminated from the postseason due to injury.
yeah, no, he actually played well that series, but some of
Well,
those
I
other
mean,
series,
No, against that
wait,
Memphis
hold
series,
on,
it was
Kenny. Because
egregious.
if you're
but-
gonna hold that, what did he do in the playoffs against KD? You can do the same thing with Kawhi.
No, you can't. No, you
what
can't.
series?
Okay,
No,
okay,
you can't.
okay.
You can't do the same shit with Kawhi.
I'm not co-signing anything he's saying. What I'm saying is, and even if that is your point, that he does not translate that well in 2016 and 2013. Well, it's not his. It's not. I'm not blaming KD for not having the benefit of the doubt like Kawhi did, being able to play with an all-time great in Tim Duncan, another all-time great in Tony Parker, an all-time great coach in Greg Popovich, and really an all-star cast, if we're being quite honest with ourselves. There was actually a year or two where he actually had LaMarcus Aldridge by his side. So he had the floor spacing. And when he was a atrocious, and Kieran can co-sign this, an atrocious playmaker and passer and playmaker, he did not have to fulfill those responsibilities because he had a Tony Parker. And
No, I
after
agree.
that,
I
he had
agree.
Patty
I
Mills.
feel like
And after
Kawhi's
that, he had
playmaking.
Derek White.
I
Like
agree.
that.
think-
I don't
I
understand.
just
No,
think
I think Kawhi's
Danny
playmaking.
Green when Danny Green was actually
I
solid.
think the problem with Kawhi is that like he like I think the problem is that what holds him back is 2021 and 2023. Even though he was playing like all-time great playoff, like he did get hurt, and we'll never know how good he would have played.
That's really what holds Kawhi back. Kawhi doesn't have the longevity that Kevin Durant has. Kevin Durant from 2009 onward has given you all NBA to MVP, and even in some categories, he has hit historical heights. In Kawhi Leonard's case, even though he's hit historical heights defensively, by the time his offensive game came through, his defensive ability started to diminish, and with his defensive ability diminishing, so did his health. And that's
I'm pretty sure.
ultimately why he can't
With his offensive peak, didn't Kawhi what's the name, average 60 field goal, like his field goal percentage was like 60%.
In 2024, based in efficiency off of field goal percentage is crazy.
Yeah, so that's
I mean, there's multiple years where
I think what he's referring to is that Kawhi
true shooting. Is he true shooting?
Kawhi in 2021 he had a 72 shooting percentage against the Mavericks in the playoffs.
In the postseason.
I'm talking about that in the postseason. Yeah.
Yes, but Kevin Durant has series where he's literally putting up similar statistical feats, while also being a far superior playmaker and passer.
All right. Hey, Casual, who you got winning? It was Hawks and Bulls.
Both of these teams are both of these teams are weird. They're weird. Chicago is literally like Chicago is the better defense, but they're not consistent enough defensively for me to bet that their defense is going to execute to stop Atlanta's guard play. And Atlanta's offense is better, but it's not consistent enough for me to bank on them being able to translate against a defense that has literally a top 5 perimeter defender in the league, and that was Caruso at the helm. And so I don't know. I just off of guess, I'm just gonna wing it. I'm gonna go with Atlanta because I've seen Trae Young's playmaking translate, but I'm not fully like sold on it.
I'm not fully sold on these teams either. I'm just gonna pick the Bulls because either way, if one of these teams win, they're losing to the loser.
They're losing to whoever loses against between Miami and Philadelphia.
Now I say that because the Heat did lose to Atlanta last year, but
it's a different team defensively. Like this, I'm telling y'all, this Miami. I don't know if you guys have been watching, but Miami this season if there's not one thing that you can count on with them, defense is the anchor for them. And the person that's anchoring it is a top 5 defender in Bam Adebayo. Bam Adebayo is going nuts defensively this year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just worry. I don't know. I just worry him against Embiid, but like I don't know.
I'm not mad at that, but if he's compromised, I find it very hard to see a compromised Joel Embiid going up against.
That's the only thing that holds Bam back from being the best defender in the league. I just don't think his rim protection on the level of Anthony Davis. Like,
yeah. All right, y'all. Y'all, I'm gonna save the draft till Wednesday. I got I'm gonna save the draft till Wednesday because that's the full NBA, like the full show, the basketball show and stuff like that. So I'm gonna do that Wednesday. But that includes the end of the show. Any last words, man? Brian?
Well, I think me and Grant can agree on this, which kind of sucks. Congrats to Man Shitty for winning their 4th straight fucking Premier League title.
I really wish you didn't bring that up. I was just praying you weren't gonna bring that up. Thank you for. Oh my god. Oh.
What's that? Football.
Yeah, I'm so
Yeah,
they won.
Yo, Brent.
No,
Brent,
okay,
I gotta go right now, but thank you. For having me.
Yeah, for
It's
sure.
I'll let Grant explain it.
So it's complicated. So right now the title race is between 3 teams: us, Manchester City, and Arsenal. And we drew to Man United last week, right? Mm-hmm. We had to win this game in order to at least have a shot at the title. And we lost 1-0 to Crystal Palace, and Arsenal just lost 2-0 to another team. So Man City's at the top of the table because they won 5-1, and they have to drop points in order for there to even be a shot. But it looks like the title's probably dead. So
yeah,
that's
especially because we still have Villa and Tottenham on our schedule.
Hey, Braun, when you get a chance, man, send me the channel that these soccer games be on because I can't find them.
They're on NBC, USA Network,
NBC, USA, Peacock. That's where that's what Premier League games are. Champions League and stuff like that.
Champions League is CBS.
And I got to see if my Los Angeles Kings gonna win the cup this year.
Oh hell no! No, I mean the Flyers. They might not even make the playoffs because there's
if Arizona's getting relocated. So I just feel like
the Arizona Coyotes.
It's high time they did it. I'm just like they've been waiting forever. I just feel like they've been waiting to pull that trigger forever.
Yeah,
and they finally just decided moving to Salt Lake is like a great idea because I think Salt Lake. It's like the fact that Salt Lake hasn't had a hockey team is a crime. And plus, they're not really doing anything to build them back up in Arizona.
We have a hockey team that doesn't.
Yeah.
Like Kansas City.
Hey, Champ, any last words?
Go Los Angeles Kings. Hey, that's number 1. Hey, always a privilege, a pleasure, and an honor to be on the show, man.
For sure.
Shout out to you, Brandon. Hey, shout out to everybody on the panel. Casual, you're awesome.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate it, man. I get it from my family, man.
Yeah,
sure. And Casual, any last words?
Make sure to follow me on Vanity Sports Debates, home of the Hoosers podcast. Make sure to check me out on the crossover show on FYO Sports. Pretty much anywhere where you can see basketball, you'll see me. So, thank you guys, man.
Definitely. Grant.
Nothing really much. Just go follow the YouTube. We just hit 2,000 subscribers on there last night. I'll drop that link in the chat for you boys. We're blowing up that channel right now, just trying to get a bunch of content out. So, but yeah, like I said, love yourself, love others, call your mom, tell her you love her. Make sure hope y'all have a great evening. Be safe.
All right now.
But hey, man, make sure y'all for all the people here, make sure y'all hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I'll see y'all Wednesday for the basketball show, man. That's what we'll be doing, the draft and stuff like that. Talk about the playing games, all that type stuff, man. Till next time, we are out. Peace.
Peace.